the new week of our personality theories. We'll be talking about cognitive personality theory this week. I will be looking into Kelly's personal construct. We'll be looking at cognitive styles and, of course, integrating cognitive perspective. We have considered a lot of different theories of personality. Last week, we looked into a very important theory, which I know some of you enjoyed it. The feedback I'm getting from that showed that you enjoyed it. Yeah, which is okay. We are going to be having checked, the one we did last week, social learning theory, having looked into that by especially the opinion of Albert Badura. This week, we are going to be checking cognitive personality theory. Why cognitive approaches matter in personality psychology? Why cognitive approaches matter in personality psychology? Now, cognitive theories shift the focus from unconscious drive. If you remember unconscious drives, that is where we started from, or behavioral conditioning, to a different thing entirely. Now, what is it shifting to is the way people think. Please, if you forget everything, do not forget that when you hear cognition, cognition means thoughts. So cognitive approach is all about the way people think, the way people interpret events and construct the meaning. The way people think, the way people interpret events, the way people construct meaning. So personality from this perspective is not just what we do, but how we understand the world, the view, the perspective about the world. When it comes to key assumptions, please note this. People are active interpreters. They are not just passive, reactors. People are active interpreter. When they look into something, they make meaning out of it. They interpret it. Think about it. So people are active interpreter. We are thinkers, not just a reactor. Somebody who just react to things. Okay. Number two, personality is shaped by mental representation. It's shaped by beliefs. It shapes by expectations. Personality is shaped by mental representation, by beliefs, and by expectation. So understanding someone's cognition helps explain their behavior across situation. When you understand the thinking of people, what people are thinking, it helps you to understand why people behave the way they behave. If you are not understanding their cognition, it will be difficult to understand their behaviors and actions. That's what we are trying to talk about today. So this sets the stage for George Kelly's influential theory. Let's look into George Kelly's personal construct theory. Now, Kelly viewed people as personal scientists. That's how Kelly viewed people. Constantly forming hypotheses, testing them, and revising their understanding of the world. That is people. That's human being to you. According to Kelly, George Kelly is of the opinion that, you know, people are personal scientists. They will continue to form hypotheses, testing them and revising their understanding of the world. What are personal constructs? What are personal constructs? So, bipolar mental categories we use to interpret experience. Okay. Example: friendly, unfriendly, competent, incompetent, safe, dangerous. Okay. That's the bipolar mental category. Okay. Each person develop a unique system of constructs. Each person. We have our different way of constructing things. And these constructs guide our perceptions, it guides our decision making, it guides our emotional reactions, it guides our behavior. No two human beings are the same. They have their different construct, their way of thinking, their interpretation, their perception, their decision making. We do stop fighting people for not being like you. Can't be like you. Everybody has unique system of construct, which is guided by the way they perceive things. We don't perceive things the same way. We don't make decisions. Some people will sleep over issues before they make their decision. Why some people just make decisions? Okay. The way we react to things, the way we respond to things are not the same. People respond and react in different ways. And of course, we don't behave the same way. So we have unique system of construct. Looking at the core ideas in Kelly's theories, I'm going to give you like how many of them? Four of them. Four of them, according to Kelly, call Kelly's idea of his story. Number one is constructive alternativism. Alternative. Okay, alternativism. Constructive alternativism. There are multiple valid ways to interpret reality. People choose construct that works for them. That's what it means. Constructive alternativism. Constructive alternativism. There are multiple valid ways to interpret reality. People choose the construct that works for them. Number two, fundamental postulate. Fundamental postulate. Now, what does that mean? A person's processes are shaped by how they anticipate events. That is fundamental postulate. A person's processes are shaped by how they anticipate events. Number three is called range of convenience. Range of convenience. That is, each construct applies to certain situation, but not all. Each construct applies to certain situation, but not all. And number four is permeability. Permeability, which means some constructs can change easily, while some are rigid. Some will not change. Some will change, some will not change. That's core ideas in Kelly's constructs. How constructs shape personality. How constructs shape personality. Now, a person with a rigid construct system may struggle with change. When you see anybody that does not want change, that person has rigid constructs. I hope that makes sense now. Many people can adapt to changes, while some people are not. If you see anybody who is not finding changes very convenient, that person has a rigid construct system. Okay. Someone with flexible construct system adapt more easily. Flexible construct. So when you tell somebody that you have a rigid construct system, it means that person don't do well with change so fast. And when you say someone has flexible construct, it means the person can adapt to change easily. Now, we have distress often arise when constructs fail to predict or make sense of event. That's the point of distress. Sometimes construct can fail to predict or make sense of event. And it's a distress. So looking at the assessment, the role construct repertory test, we call it rep test. The role construct repertory test. You know, the role it plays this. According to Kelly developed the rep test, okay, to map a person's construct system by comparing how they perceive significant people in their life. That's what Kelly did. So Kelly, he developed that rep test, the role construct repertory test. Kelly constructed to map a person's construct system. He used that to compare how people perceive significant people in their life, how they perceive them. Maybe their son, their wife. He used that system to get that out. How people perceive significant people in their life. Let's go to, because of our time, to cognitive styles. There are different styles, like 4 types of cognitive styles. Now, cognitive styles refer to consistent ways individual process information. We don't process information the same way. When all of us receive the same information, we receive it in a different way. We will not process it different ways. Don't forget, what we are trying to say is that the way people think determines their behavior, determines their personality. So information we receive, we don't process it the same way. So sometimes we have too much expectation. You give information to people and you expect them to act on it. Somebody's acting, the other person is slowing down. They process it in a different way, not the same way. They are not about what people think, but how they think. Not just what people think, their style of thinking, their ways of thinking. People don't think the same way. We need to understand this at this level of education. You are doing PhD. You need to understand that there are different ways of thinking, cognitive style. People think in different way. That helps you to relate with people individually, and you avoid error of generalizing things. Okay, so let's look at the 4 styles of cognition here, cognitive style. The first one, the common styles, we look at common ones, common style. The first one is called feed dependent versus feed independent. Feed, FIELD, dependent versus feed independent. People with social oriented versus analytical oriented. Some are socially oriented, while some analytical oriented. Number two, reflective versus impulsive. You give information to some people will think and think and think and think and think. Why some people they get the information and they jump into action. They don't even take time to reflect on it. Okay. People with reflective, they are carefully, careful deliberation. They are author of careful deliberation. Why people who are impulsive, quick decision making. When we see somebody is impulsive, impulsivity is doing things without control. That's impulsivity. So people with, you know, impulsive cognition, most time they don't think about things, they just jump into action, they jump into decision makings and make their decision. Number three, we have holistic versus analytic. Some people look at the big picture, while some people look into details. They are meticulous. Analytical people are meticulous, while some people are looking at the bigger picture, a big picture. They are holistic. You are looking at details. They are looking broader. And the last one is tolerance for ambiguity. Tolerance for ambiguity. This is comfort versus discomfort with uncertainty. All right? Tolerance for ambiguity. Not everybody. Some have tolerance for ambiguity, while some don't. Comfort and versus discomfort with uncertainty. Some people are comfortable, while some people are not comfortable. So, cognitive style is very important because they influence learning, problem solving, and interpersonal behavior. That's number one reason why cognitive style is very important. They influence learning, problem solving, and interpersonal behavior. Number two, they help us to explain why people respond differently to the same situation. You have common situation, but the way people respond to it are not the same. Why? Cognitive styles are not the same. They're not the same. When you give people assignments in church, when you're talking to people in church or wherever, any gathering you find, people are not going to respond the same way. Their cognitive style is going to determine how they respond to the same situation. Why are we looking at cognitive style? Cognitive styles interact with personal constructs to shape personal pattern. They interact with personal constructs to shape personality pattern. All right. So we need to understand this. This is the interesting part of our work. Let's look at it, integrating cognitive perspective into personality explanations, because this also is very important. Integrating cognitive perspective into personality explanation. Now, to meet the learning outcome of this course, you should be able to use cognitive concept to explain personality differences, because personality are different. People are not the same. And why are they not the same? Their cognitive are not the, are not the same. So you need to understand this, that they are not the same. People are not thinking, perceiving things the same way. So it's not going to be the same way. It's very important. So how cognitive theories contribute? Number one, interpretation drives emotions and behavior. Two people receive criticism, one interpret it as helpful, motivated, another person interpret it and reject it, discouraged. Two people receive criticism, person received well, the other one did not. So interpretation drives emotions and behavior. Number two, construct system create stable personality pattern. Someone who sees the world as dangerous develop cautious and avoidant trait. Construct system creates stable personality pattern. Number three, cognitive style influence coping and decision making. Coping and decision making. Like a field independent thinker may excel in problem solving but struggle with collaboration. Okay. And the last one there is that cognitive change leads to personality change. If you can change the cognitive cognition of people, you can change their personality. Therapy often involves reconstructing maladaptive belief. That's we use that in therapy. Okay. Integrative explanation example. A person with a rigid negative construct system, in bracket, people are untrustworthy, for example, and a feed independent side may appear aloof or suspicious. Their personality expression is shaped by how they interpret social cues and how they habitually process information. This is a main thing. This is very important. Okay. So please read the portion assigned for this week. It's going to be helpful for you. Cognitive theories highlight that personality is not just behavior or emotions, it is meaning making. Understanding how people think gives you powerful lens for explaining personality differences and for supporting personal growth. So when you see people with different character, don't judge their character, check their cognitive style. And if you can change the way they think, you can change their behavior. I hope you will enjoy this and check the test for this week. And if you have any question, let me know and I will provide answers to it. It's very interesting. Some of you will find all these things difficult because you are not a psychology major, but that's my feed, anyways. That's the best explanation I can give to you for now. If I want to explain further, I will spend more than 25 minutes and I don't want it to be a very long video. Okay. So I hope you'll be able to read your test and other tests recommended for this class to get more information about what we are saying today. Take care until I come your